Hello and welcome, sports bettors, to the Daily Line at BetRepublic.com. I'm your host, Jarvis Symes. We're going to take a look at what's going on in the NHL today for Tuesday, February 9th. Starting things off with Nashville Predators playing against the New York Islanders. When this line first came up on the game, I saw Preds laying 135, thought it seemed a bit low. Nashville out, starting a four-game road trip against the Eastern Conference. But if you look back to their most recent four-game road trip, you start to see why odds makers are having their doubts. Preds were 0-4 on that trip, lost 4 games, but if you looked at the competition they played against, Colorado, Detroit, Phoenix, who still some people still don't believe but are really a good hockey team this year, a little bit stiffer competition than these New York Islanders. Islanders have lost 7 straight games. They've gone 8 games now scoring 2 goals or less. They are having problems that everyone expected out of an Islanders team with growing pains this year. Pekka Rinne getting the nod tonight for the Preds. Martin Biron is going to go for the Islanders. I'm leaning towards Nashville in this game. Nashville was recently beaten up at home by a San Jose team out to beat up on whoever got in their path. Sharks weren't happy about losing 2 out of 3 at home. Nashville's going to bounce back tonight. Against this punchless Islanders team, I lean towards Nashville. Let's go down to Boston and Buffalo. This is a game that starts instantly, you start to think defense when you think of these two teams, but this is not the playoffs, and this is not what these teams are looking for right now. Both teams rank mid-pack in the power play. Both teams are ranked right near the top 10. I say near the top 10 because Boston's actually 11 in discipline. They take few penalty minutes per game. But Boston has struggled through injuries throughout the season. Not quite as many as the Detroit Red Wings, but they've had Patrice Bergeron. They've also had Savard out with injuries. He's a big part of their power play. You look at the Boston box score from the last 5 games. They've scored 6 power play goals. They're going to generate some offense tonight. We don't know if Ryan Miller is going to actually start this game. They might catch a break there. We know that Tuukka Rask is going to play for the Bruins. I see some scoring in this game. The line is 5/25. That's not a bad line. You know, if it goes to overtime at 2-2, you can still get a push. Could get some empty netters. I like this game to go over 5 goals. Let's go down to Florida and the Carolina Hurricanes. Florida does not have a lot of offensive talent. We know that Cam Ward is going to take a seat tonight for the Canes. He's been playing some good hockey lately. They've really turned a corner after a really rough start to the season. We've got a betting system from our good friend Greg Dempson, too, sent in for this game, and it calls for a play on the under 5.5. You know, when you first hear the starting goalie for the Canes is not going to play, right away there's hesitancy among bettors to want to bet the under. But as I mentioned, legacy has not been too bad, and we've got Thomas Vokoun going for the Panthers on the other side. He's always good for an under against the best offenses. You're looking for teams who are in the 300 to 400 win percent range, and that still sums up the Canes, even though they've been struggling. They're 6-2 in their last 8. They've got to be coming off a win. They beat the Islanders on Saturday night, and they've got to be playing at home with a total of 5.5. The system is 22-12 so far this season, 61% overall since 1996. Those are strong numbers. Greg Dempson's systems at BetRepublic.com in the hockey season have gone 6-1 at the Daily Line. System play calls for the Canes and Panthers to stay under 5.5. One more game we're going to look at tonight. Going to the nation's capital for Canada, looking at the Calgary Flames out on their road trip, visiting the Ottawa Senators. Calgary obviously was a big topic of discussion with all the trades they pulled last week. Went into Florida, executed a game plan to perfection last week with a 2-1 win. Did not work so well in Tampa Bay the next game out. They lost 2-1 in overtime. You're looking at a Calgary team that has not quite developed the chemistry with all of its new offensive talent. Other than the Carolina game that they won at home ice with the trades, where they beat them 4-1, and one of those goals was an empty netter, I might add. They were shut out. They've scored 2 goals. They've scored 1 goal. They're averaging 1 goal a game in those other 3 games. They're going against an Ottawa Senators team that just recently had its win streak snapped, and they're not happy about it. Mika Kiprusoff is going to start tonight for the Flames, but they're out on the road against a Sens team that's got offense coming to life after all their injuries to Spezza, to Alfredson. I like the Ottawa Senators. My top play in the NHL today is on the Sens, but I don't want to lay the juice, so I'm looking at laying a half goal on the Sens in 60-minute betting to win a regulation time at even money. If your sportsbook does not offer the option of betting in 60 minutes, you might want to take a look around for a book that does. It's becoming a more and more popular betting option for a lot of bettors who don't want to lay big juice on favorites. My play of the day is on the Sens to win in regulation time. System play was on the Canes and Panthers stay under. That's it for the show today. Make sure you stop by the Daily Line at betrepublic.com every Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Also, stop by the stadiums and contribute your picks of the day. And that's it for now. Jarvis Symes signing off. We'll see you at Bet Republic.